Of inside theater after shooting people, running out covered in blood. Everyone's throwing their videos up now on YouTube.
That must have just looked like fucking a war zone, definitely. Like, but there's now it's conflicting reports. Was he in the theater waiting, watching the movie, or did he kick the door in? Now, because how the fuck do you get in the theater with a rifle?
I think he probably kicked the door in. A gun planted. I don't know about that.
That's fucking weird.
Maybe, but if there's a gun planted, obviously he either worked there or he's a maintenance guy, or he did something where he had theater access.
Yeah.
Or he just went to that theater for another movie and taped a gun somewhere that he knew they wouldn't find right away. You know?
But if he kicked the door in during a shooting scene, that means he knew when the shooting scene was happening in the movie.
But he wouldn't need the shooting scene to do what he had to do.
Yeah.
Everyone's focused on the movie. Half hour in, you're really settled. You're settled in, and your eyes are just on that fucking screen.
Yep.
Unless he had to do it during the shooting scene, there was something about that too for him. I don't know.
I don't know. That sounds coincidental.
I think it might be a coincidence, though, right?
Yeah, it's an action movie. Damn.
People are just tuning in. Well, I mean, and they want to know what's going on. Well, there's a midnight showing of The Batman in Aurora, Colorado, and half hour into the movie, a gunman starts shooting.
Yeah,
let off some looks like tear gas, and so far 15 people are dead and at least 50 injured, I guess.
Yeah,
that's for the people that don't know still. Well, you wouldn't know if you were on MSNBC.
But in fact, it's a collective success of the whole society that somehow builds enterprises like this.
Comment back. So why don't you now ask a leading question to Mark Halpern while I sit here and roll my eyes?
What is MSNBC trying to prove here? I don't understand.
I don't know.
I do think the news gets a bit tabloidish.
Sure.
But this is a story that just happened. It's breaking. Maybe you move on after a little while, but to just completely ignore it like they're doing, I don't understand.
They're a terrible
network. Does Fox have Michael Bodden on for that?
Was able to put his hand on the revolver and insert his thumb in such a way that the weapon didn't fire.
That's right.
A real hero guy.
Right, and what's diabolical about this particular situation, Doctor, is the fact that it sounds like what we're learning initially is the guy was down in the front. You got a theater with hundreds of people in there. The guy's down at the front. He stands up, turns around. He's got 3 guns, 2 handguns and a long gun. But the only way out is past him.
And the people might have thought, that's part of the show. You know, with all the hype, that would be very confusing initially. You get a guy stand up, start shooting. Hey, is this part of the show or not? And so people hesitate. But the only other kind of thing...
That's why I don't think it's a coincidence he started doing it during the shooting. That's why, because if he timed it for the shooting, either he was waiting, but if he kicked the door in, you got to know when that's happening.
Maybe that was part of his sick mind.
Yeah, people just don't know when things are happening around them. And by the time you assess a situation like that, a lot of damage has already been done.
The white car again.
Surprised him or how it actually happened, but I know some of the first officers that, arrived within, I don't know if it was seconds, maximum a couple minutes, found him behind the theater at his car and took him into custody there.
Jeez.
So that is a little description from some of the eyewitnesses of what they saw inside that theater, which is really a theater complex. 16 theaters, many of them showing The Dark Knight Rising, which of course was packed because this has been a film that people have been anxiously awaiting. Here's what we know about the shooter. His name has not been released by authorities at this point, but he's described as 24 years old. He's also described as wearing a bulletproof vest and being heavily armed. He was taken into custody, we're told, in the rear parking lot of the theater, although some eyewitnesses said, in fact, they thought that he was captured in the theater itself. The police say they took a shotgun and a rifle from him. They were able to recover another gun inside the theater. And he was, according to some witnesses, wearing goggles. Police confirmed that he had a gas mask as well. They have not confirmed the goggles part. Police say he did not put up a fight. There was no resistance. And additionally, he was able to tell them about explosives in his apartment building. Police said that at a press conference. And after that, they mobilized units to his apartment building. And there is a building that we've been monitoring that appears could be his, where it's now been surrounded and surrounded by law enforcement and ambulances as well. No one believes that there was a second shooter, although in their early morning press conference, police said that was something that they would continue to actively monitor. 50 people were transported to area hospitals with injuries, some of those injuries very grave. I want to get to Nicole Williams. She's joining us by phone from Swedish Medical Center. She's an assistant vice president there. Nicole, thanks for your time. Appreciate it. Tell me what's happening at your medical center right now.
Yeah. Sure. Right now
Fred
we
Willard was
have
jerking
actually
off,
just received word that we are receiving a fourth patient. So currently we have a 19-year-old male who has been listed in fair condition. We have a 20-year-old male who is in critical, a 29-year-old female in critical, and we understand we have a 19-year-old female inbound. We are unclear of her condition at this time.
So you have two in critical condition. You have one 19-year-old who seems that person is in better condition, and you're unclear of the person who's being transported to you at this time.
Correct.
Can you give me any details on those who are reported in critical condition? What kind of injuries do they have?
Gunshot wounds.
The three that we received immediately following the incident all came in with gunshot wounds. We're hearing rumors that the patient that's currently on their way in could have some shrapnel wounds. But again, I don't believe they've arrived yet. We have not been able to assess.
Yeah, well. It's just horrible. We should take a break. Really.
Yeah,
we'll continue with this, certainly.
Selfish scumbag this guy is, man.
We got two things to do today. Continue with this and make sure that Fred Willard doesn't slide.
Yes.
For his naughty behavior.
Fred Willard's a very naughty old man.
I teased him on Twitter last night. I mean, I like Fred Willard.
Yeah.
And I realized he was following me. I'm like,
oh, no.
He was following you.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like I said he denied masturbating in the theater. He was just punching his cock for talking during the movie.
There you go.
I looked him up and oh boy. Poor Fred Willard. He's 72. The fuck? What undercover cop is doing that?
Leave him alone.
How embarrassing.
Boy. Yeah, what a detail.
You really need to go into seedy adult theaters and bust people for jacking off. That's kind of strange. Seems like there's a lot of other things to worry about before that. And what do you, if you're in an adult theater watching fucking porn, your first thought is maybe I got to get rid of some of this poison.
Yeah.
But who called the police? Is there like a new manager there who didn't know? Like, hey, let's go out of here!
Holy shit!
Well, I didn't expect this. This wasn't in my job detail. I actually might see guys jerking off in here.
What the fuck?
Fuck that!
It's an adult theater.
Yeah,
that's what people do in adult theaters.
A seedy. I mean, it's in a seedy part of town and everything, man.
Lots of reports said he was in the movie already, stood up for the first time Batman came on screen.
Is this Fred Willard?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I don't know.
He's shot in the theater, too.
I resisted that one. I thought
did you?
Was,
okay, thanks.
No, on Twitter.
Thanks for leaving it for me. No, I know. That's terrible. Yeah. I'm sorry. Jiminy Cricket.
And then someone says, can it be argued that MSNBC shouldn't cover it because others are? No, you're not supposed to think, if you're a 24-hour news network, you're not supposed to think of the competition. You should just, as a responsible news network, it's a real story. This is not a tabloid hunk of shit. It's not voyeurism when it's actually an unfolding story.
Well,
yeah.
But I mean, if you're running a news organization, technically they're not really, pure news organizations. You need.
Aren't they or no?
I don't think so. They're all slanted and shit. I think you want ratings.
Yeah.
And I think you think about ratings big time, and to not cover the story, it's just stupid on MSNBC's part.
Yeah.
Completely stupid. I guarantee their numbers are dropping drastically this morning because they're not doing a lot on it. They're doing a little bit on it right now, a little bit.
Well, they're showing the president Obama's statement on it, of course. Which, again, I guess that is news.
Yeah, that's fine. But then they'll move on to other shit. I mean, Fox and CNN, I'm not playing favorites here, trust me. They still haven't gone to commercial. It's just around the clock coverage of this.
Before opening fire, he is now in police custody.
The President of the United States, who is traveling to Florida right now, overnighting in Palm Beach this morning, was notified of the shooting by Homeland Security Advisor John Brennan at 5:26 a.m. Eastern this morning. He then released this president. The president says, Michelle and I are shocked and saddened by the horrific and tragic shooting in Colorado. Federal and local law enforcement are still responding, and my administration will do everything that we can to support the people of Aurora in this extraordinarily difficult time. We are committed to bringing whomever was responsible to justice, ensuring the safety of our people, and caring for those who have been wounded.
Statements just suck.
Statements are insincere.
It's just so dumb. Of course all that's going to happen.
Yes.
Of course. Just dumb. No one could speak from the heart.
No.
I'm sure he had to go over with his people. All right, well, let's be careful about this statement. Make sure everything is perfect in here.
Word it properly. Let's not
here's the first draft. Well, I don't know. Let's rewrite this a little bit. Let's change this word a little bit.
Sounds a little rash. Right. We don't want to alarm people.
I hate statements.
They're terrible.
Stink.
You know what people are pointing out, though, which is a good point, and one of you guys might have said this already, that the fucking fire doors open out. You can't kick them in from the outside. They open outward. So obviously it couldn't have been kicked in unless somebody had propped it open or they stood up in the theater and kicked it to leave.
Well, that's true. Maybe they kicked it open to leave.
I'm guessing that it's a theater employee or someone who has access to that theater.
Yeah.
I could be completely, obviously wrong, but...
Yeah, maybe.
Now they're outside his apartment.
That's his apartment.
Oh, wow.
Let's see what this is all about.
Indication that the individual involved was driving a car with Tennessee plates, and so anything that needs to be conducted, any investigation out of state that can be conducted for the Aurora PD will be done in an expeditious manner by the Bureau. The Bureau will put any expertise that they may request. Will guarantee that they'll have that assistance. In terms of the other things they have to do is probably working together with ATF, looking at the origin of the weapons and where that gas. There's some indication now that perhaps it was a tear gas canister that went off. So this individual had access to arms, to ammunition, to other sources of chaos. So it's a confusing issue right now, which will be kind of ironed out. But what can we do to protect there? It's a terrible situation. We can't walk down the country. You can have some indicators. You can look at the way people are. But, when you have a movie like this with such hype with Batman, people do things. They come to movies in costume and stuff like that. So you don't really know who these people are. And that may be one thing.
I guarantee that's going to stop.
Oh, boy.
They can at least, control that a little bit.
We're a very knee-jerky country.
I guarantee you're not going to be able to wear a costume or a mask into a movie theater anymore.
Yep.
A lot of people have had fun with that over the years, but that'll be the first thing that stops.
Jeez. Well, I'm not gonna be
attack. The determination should be made very quickly whether or not this was a lone gunman who potentially is mentally disturbed or whether or not he belongs to a larger group.
Loner.
Tony Roman.
I agree.
Keep going, Tony.
I'm going loner.
Selfish cocksucker.
Loner.
Didn't resist, didn't shoot himself in the head, so he probably wants to be caught and heard. He's the Dark Knight. That's what this guy is. If he stood up when Batman came on screen, this little fucking cunt is just one of those loner piece of shit that nobody liked because he has nothing to offer. He should have just shot himself in the head.
Yes.
He didn't have the moral courage to do that. So he's the Dark Knight. He probably thinks he relates to Batman Rising and
I
what
think
a fucking twerp.
I think he thinks he's the villain there.
Well, yeah, but if he stood up when Batman came out,
yeah,
he's just
well, we'll see.
Just a fucking twerp.
Ugh. God.
And this MSNBC, again, I know it's a business, but the fact that they're showing these commercials, can you guys just cover the fucking story?
Yeah.
And again, I hate when news stories overdo, like news networks overdo the coverage, because it becomes a point where you're just like a fucking shill. But it really is unfolding, and new footage is coming out every fucking 2 minutes. It really, it's one of those things where it's legit.
Right. It's really fresh. MSNBC is just doing a quick headline about it.
And CNN and Fox are both doing it. It's not about politics, you dumbbells.
No.
It's CNN and Fox are both doing the right thing.
And we usually don't watch them, but I'm sure the Today Show and all that is pretty much around the...
You'd hope so, yeah.
Around the hour coverage or whatever.
You know how many comedians...
I would imagine.
You know how many comedians right now are being canceled across the country on these morning news shows?
Oh,
like they have like their local gigs to plug because it's a Friday, and that's the day you do them.
Right.
They're all getting bummed.
Yep.
Not that it matters, but that's what's happening.
Of course.
In the comic world.
Yeah.
Yes.
But Ann Romney, we've given you people all you need to know. They're focusing on that right at this moment.
Yep.
It sure is a story, but it could wait.
Yeah, Ann Romney.
Could wait.
Please.
All that shit could wait. Want to take a break and we'll continue with this stuff?
Do that.
Maybe listen to the police scanner a little bit.
Oh yeah,
that police scanner stuff is really. I could listen to that all morning.
I listen to it at night.
Wow,
it's amazing.
Wow,
and that was like me playing porn right now. Yeah, playing that.
Yeah, like ooh, what's going on?
People are telling me my headshot was in Louis last night. I didn't see it.
Oh, yeah, it was.
But that's the entrance to the... I saw the photo, but I didn't see the episode.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the entrance to the Comedy Cellar. That's when you walk into the cellar.
Yeah, they're talking. Louis talking with somebody. And
Not
right
somebody,
in between
Bamford.
Them. Yeah.
Oh, is that Maria Bamford?
Yeah, I saw that episode, and they're having a moment, and you're right in the middle of them. Your headshot.
And Geraldo's is right above me. I saw the photo.
Yes. Yep. I meant to tell you that. I saw that. Whatever. Another great episode of Louis.
Yeah. All right. Why don't we eat something?
All right.
Let's go make love.
Sirius XM. The Opie and Anthony Show.
We're back. Chewing. Sorry. I try not to eat on the air anymore.
It smells fucking good.
Honestly, it's shit today. Egg whites and just dry wheat toast.
Oh,
I smell syrup.
Yeah, the syrup.
I got a little jelly on the side.
Something smells like syrup.
Sirius XM just ran a promo saying, hey, breaking news, go to our news channels. I would like to say that we're doing a fine job right here on the Opie and Anthony channel.
Yeah, you don't need to go to the news channels. What are they going to give you that we're not giving you?
Right. Well, I mean, I see why they would do that, but maybe leave that promo off our channel if you knew what we were about. We could take care of this, trust me.
We're
better than anybody.
We're giving very good news coverage just with some dirty words.
Right.
I don't know. Have we cursed?
We say
I
this
have a
guy's
little bit.
motherfucker.
Yeah.
That's what we say.
So what's the latest?
Well, now that all the networks are going to commercial now because I guess it's like, it's hit that point where there's pretty much...
CNN's still on it. Let's see what they got.
I feel good, a little shaked up, but I'm feeling, thank God I got out alive, me and my girlfriend.
Oh, we're glad to see that. Thanks for that, for talking with us this morning. Appreciate it. This is live pictures, aerial shots of what we believe is the shooter's car. We know that this is the back entrance of the theater, and by numerous witness reports,
this would never have happened at the Alex.
The shooter came into the movie theater was through the exit, and was able to kick in one of the doors. By one person's description, so that he was right at the front of the theater while the movie was going. We believe that this is his vehicle because police had described a search.
Okay, let me go with this a little bit. So the car is in the back of the theater. He kicks open that door, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if someone helped him out. I wonder if someone got into the theater, got his ticket for the movie, knew where the exit was, and pried it open for the guy, and then left the theater, obviously, because he didn't want to be part of the massacre.
Let me tell you something.
How does he kick open that door from the back of the theater?
I'm going to say that because the exit door opening would make a noise, there's probably no way to prop that open. A fire exit door, I imagine, sounds an alarm, right?
Not. Yeah, a lot of them do, but I don't know.
They're saying he's a lone gunman. And he's pretty much blurted out everything about the incendiary device in his car and his house and shit. So
how does he get into that back door?
Else?
They're kind of showing the door he could have entered in.
Oh, yeah?
I don't. It's not easy to get into a movie theater from the back like that. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. I don't know shit.
Let's see what
the scanners doing.
Scanners.
Police scanner, of course, from Aurora.
This is from Aurora,
Colorado.
Police scanner. They probably all the good stuff was on priority channels, which I don't have on here.
I knew an Aurora
Tactical channels. It's pretty quiet, quite frankly.
Well, we saw them at gunman's apartment complex.
Yes, they had a little camera on a stick, and they were looking through the windows
to see what they could see inside, right?
I don't want anything to happen like on Speed, where they went to the guy's house, and remember that?
Right.
Someone sent me to this girl's Twitter. I don't know if this is true or not. I'm literally getting my news off Twitter, so this could be wrong. But last tweet...
Information only on a robbery that just occurred in Denver at gunpoint.
A robbery? Well, I would imagine if you were a criminal, you'd be an opportunist today and say,
take
well,
this opportunity to...
the odds are they're a little busy. I can maybe get something done quickly.
Yeah.
Last tweet from Jessica Redfield.
Yes.
Who was reportedly killed in the theater. She wrote, movie doesn't start for 20 minutes.
Oh.
She was just tweeting from the theater. People's last tweets from the theater will eventually now...
it's terrible.
And none of it was happening during, but they probably all just finished right before that movie started. There's something chilling about that.
Man. Damn. Oh, man. That's pretty bad. This shit's just, fucked up.
Yeah.
People gotta just fucking knock this shit off. Hey, stop it. Hey, you. I'm shaking my fist. Hey, you.
The entrance is in the back. The fire exit is on the front or in the front. Brian is saying on the phones right now. Hold on. Let's just go to Brian. Brian, what's up?
Hey, what's up, guys? Well, the entrance to the movie theater is on the back, on the sides, but they have fire exits on each side of movie screens, like in every movie theater. So, maybe the guy propped it open himself, but normally you're not allowed to do that. Normally they got people watching it, especially with a movie like that.
Right, they're terrified about people filming and capturing video and selling it in the black market. So
the black market.
Yeah, everything's kind of beefed up.
Yeah.
All right, sir. Thank you. Let me go to Matt. Matt, what's up?
Good morning, boys. Unconfirmed report that was on the radio this morning and on television was that prior to the shooting, someone stepped out to take an emergency phone call and went out that exit door that the shooter apparently came in. So, could be how it happened.
Oh,
yeah, reason to go out that door and maybe leave it pried open a little bit.
Right.
Who knows?
I'm wondering if that was possibly an accomplice. I don't know, but that was something that came out this morning. So
yeah, I'm a little suspicious. That's all.
Yeah,
I get he's a lone nut, but I mean, does he have a friend? I don't know. Who knows? Who the fuck knows?
It's hard to find two people.
Or maybe the guy with the emergency call. Now this is getting really crazy. Is the actual shooter? He goes out that door, keeps it pried open, puts his stuff on, and comes back in. Just a dumb thought. I want to acknowledge it's just a dumb thought.
Yeah.
All right, Matt. Thank you.
Thank you, boys.
I don't know. It's one of those things. Even if the doors open a crack, people know in the theater, in a dark theater.
You think?
They see when doors are open like that.
Midnight showing.
Stop it.
They like to try to keep everything dark.
Shut that fucking door.
I used to work at a theater, and you could open those doors really easily. I'm a firefighter, and it's impossible to open that door from the outside.
See, this is what the reports are.
Of course.
Just
of
people
course.
not knowing shit.
The gang unit was on scene. We've got to wrap things up, but is there really much of a gang problem in Aurora, Colorado?
The parking lot. What does that have to do with anything?
Sealed off. We have all the area bombs.
Well, a gang unit was sent to the theater. Well, they're going to send everybody.
Everybody, right?
Everybody.
Police chief talking on CNN.
Checking all the cars in the parking lot for explosives. That will go on for quite some time.
That was the police chief, Dan Coates, the Aurora police chief, updating people on what happened there. We have Christine monitoring what's happening in area hospitals.
And we know that the youngest victim so far of the theater shooting, a patient who is doing fine, we're told, an ER doctor telling KCNC the youngest patient is 3 months old, doing fine, thankfully. But a 3-month-old is the youngest patient. We know that so far the oldest patient we see in one of these hospitals is
in a movie theater that everybody wants to see the movie, you bring a 3-month-old
at midnight.
6 patients,
selfish, shitty parents.
From 6
Fucking
to 31. The Medical Center of Aurora has, Denver Medical has 5 in fair condition, 11 in critical condition there. That's the issue here with this. Some people have tear gas decontamination they're going through. Some people have some shrapnel injuries. Some people have grazing, and they're okay. They're in fair condition, but they have gunshot-related wounds. There are others, though, who are in surgery at this hour in critical condition, and it's a pretty still very dangerous moment for some of those people who were taken out of that theater. One thing that's interesting as well about the moments after this shooting, again, a midnight showing of The Dark Knight, some were taken to area hospitals and ambulances. Some came in on foot later as they realized that they had minor injuries, Soledad, and some came in the back of police cars. Police
as they realized they had minor injuries later on.
Oh boy!
Walking out of the theater
what is that?
With the still not moving body of a small child, a little girl, a 6-year-old or a 9-year-old, depending on which eyewitness you're talking to. We still don't know the status of that child, but a child who was taken out of the theater unconscious.
Police spokesman said that they arrested the suspect in the rear of Parking Lot Theater. He's reported to be 24 years old, a man who lives in North Aurora. We've seen aerial pictures of what is believed to be his residence.
Give a name, give a fucking everything. Come on.
Police and firefighters
they know.
And ambulances
Gotta know at
as
this
well.
point.
We've also seen pictures of what is believed to be the suspect's car, a white vehicle that we saw some of law enforcement searching a little bit earlier this morning. We're told that the gunman was heavily armed, wearing a gas mask and goggles as well, and heavily with the shotgun, a rifle, according to eyewitness descriptions, and also police say they found a third weapon gun in the theater. We want to get to John Berman. He's got an update on what is happening on Twitter, as people were really among the first to report what was going on in the movie theater.
Soledad, this is a national tragedy, and as you would expect, our nation's leaders are now weighing in. We have a statement I want to read you from President Obama, who says, "Michelle and I are shocked and saddened by the horrific and tragic shooting in Colorado. Federal and local law enforcement are still responding, and my administration will do everything that we can to support the people of Aurora in this extraordinarily difficult time.
Which means nothing.
We are committed to bringing whoever was responsible to justice, ensuring the safety of our people, and caring for those who have been wounded." This is President Obama. As we do when confronted by moments of darkness and challenge, we must now come together as one American family. All of us must have the people of Aurora in our thoughts and prayers as they confront the loss of family, friends, and neighbors, and we must stand together with them in the challenging hours and days to come. The president was informed of this shooting by his Homeland Security Advisor, John Brennan, around 5:30 a.m. this morning. FBI now racing to the scene to help out. Of course, Mitt Romney, the Republican nominee, presumptive nominee, also putting out a statement this morning. Mitt Romney says, his wife, Ann, and I are deeply saddened by the news of the senseless violence that took the lives of 15 people in Colorado and injured dozens more. He says 15 at this point, CNN reporting 14 people killed. Mitt Romney continues, "We are praying for the families and loved ones of the victims during this time of deep shock and immense grief. We expect that the person responsible for this terrible crime will be quickly."
By the way, why do they have to correct him during his statement?
Was scheduled to campaign.
Who cares what CNN's reporting?
Scheduled a campaign in Florida today. You can expect, I imagine, that their comments will be tempered somewhat today. Soledad.
Yeah, one would have to imagine. All right, John, thank you for that. The eyewitness description has been absolutely horrific as they described the gunman entering the movie theater and then eventually just opening fire seemingly randomly at the people who, in some cases, still thought the movie was going on, still thought some of the noise
you would think that was part of the fucking movie. That's some kind of a weird promotional thing they were doing for the first. Everyone's sitting there in shock.
Yeah.
She said that a man about 6 feet tall, taller than her, kicked through the door. And
I bet he's not that tall. People will always think in that situation that
he had a bulletproof vest on.
How do you kick through the door?
She said that he was completely covered in all black with goggles. And she said that after that point, when she saw that he was holding a shotgun, her and her boyfriend dropped to the floor and just kind of started to crawl to see if they could get away. They got up and they started to run through the emergency exit. She said that when she turned around, all she saw was the guy slowly making his way up the stairs and just firing.
Chilling.
People. Just picking random people.
Fucking chilling.
It appears that there was some sort of smoke or gas. We're hearing reports of an explosion. We don't know if that was part of the smoke and gas or a separate device.
Explosive device from. So this is a very fluid investigation, but I continue to get more information about that now.
Horrible
so this
voice.
is going to be a full national investigation, bringing in ATF, FBI, who knows how many sources going to bring to bear. Rod, we're going to be coming back
UFC,
to you
NFL,
after this
NBA.
break, but I want to talk to you about how do people get the ability to get tear gas grenades. Is that legal? And should it be legal going forward?
It's not. Because apparently the guy was wearing a gas mask in the theater moments before he set off,
dummy.
It's not legal.
Some sort of tear gas explosive
now we
device.
Figure out how
and then,
he had
as
tear
the people
gas.
started to panic, to run out, he was down front, and he started shooting.
Yes.
And we are going to have more breaking.
Same thing with a lady that just all out of it. By the time I left, I overheard the nurses saying they've managed to get most everyone stabilized, which is a blessing. It really is.
He did not resist. He did not put up a fight. I don't know the exact details if the officers surprised him or how it actually happened, but I know some of the first officers that arrived within, I don't know if it was seconds, maximum a couple minutes, found him behind the theater at his car and took him into custody there.
That's some of what the eyewitnesses on the scene have been saying this morning in the wake of this terrible tragedy. 14 people is the number given to us by police.
All right. We got to catch up with breaks, and we'll get
catch up.
Donald Trump Jr. in here.
Is he here?
I would imagine he's the Trumpster. He's close, if not here already.
Yeah.
What is Piers saying on Twitter? More Americans will buy guns after this to defend themselves, and so the dangerous spiral descends.
What does that mean?
How does it stop?
Take your English fucking bullshit back to England, you cocksucker. The fuck does that mean? Stop trying to put an agenda on this. They take something like this, a tragedy, and they always try to put some kind of fucking agenda to it. Well, we gotta stop these. You know what? I love guns. Love them. I'm not gonna fucking go and start shooting up a movie theater. Don't worry about it, Piers. And as are the large, vast majority of responsible, legal gun owners.
Almost all.
Yes. This will happen. This fucking happens. It's a horrible world we live in where horrible things happen sometimes. It doesn't mean you got to then take everything away from people when somebody uses something for evil. You know?
Because really, drunk driving kills a lot more people than random shooters. And they don't talk about taking away cars or alcohol. They don't talk about banning alcohol.
Ban alcohol.
When drunk driving kills people.
Alcohol and cigarettes, the biggest killers in this fucking country.
Which is way worse than guns. Way the fuck worse.
God, you can't fucking... When is this going to stop? Shut up. Go get some bobbies to protect you. Those fruits with their dumb big hats and little clubs. Oh, I've had it with that. I would, something, yeah, you could say that if somebody perhaps had a gun in the theater, maybe the fucking count wouldn't have been. He wouldn't have stood up and started joining the other gunmen and shooting the patrons. Perhaps he would have shot the gunman. How about what happened in that internet cafe? Where an older gentleman got up that was armed and started shooting at the guys that were robbing the place. What if he wasn't there? Who knows how that story might have turned out? Maybe those guys would have shot some of the people in that place.
Right.
You never know what would have happened. But it didn't happen because there was an armed guy in the fucking internet cafe.
Does everyone know that story?
I don't think so.
Well, what happened quickly?
An elderly gentleman was sitting there with his wife at an internet cafe.
Right.
Two gentlemen walked in with masks on, one with a gun, one with a baseball bat, and started robbing the people that were in there of their valuables. Well, this guy stood up, drew his gun, and just started firing at these motherfuckers who were shocked that they were being shot at and started running out of the place.
But you don't hear reports of that. Like, literally, that might have saved...
Yes.
Say that saved 3 lives. Let's just say 3 lives were saved.
Yes.
Why isn't Piers going on, or any of these guys going on Twitter and going, when will more Americans get guns and stop these horrible random crime? Everyone is fucking, everyone has an agenda.
How about this guy? Let's say this was happening right now, this horrible story out of Aurora. The guy stands up. Mm-hmm. He shoots a person. Mm-hmm. A guy stands up that has a legal gun and shoots the guy in the face. He drops. One person's dead. It's tragic. But this would have been a story. They wouldn't have been covering it like this. It would have been, hey, somebody was shot in a movie theater, and the gunman was killed by a legal gun owner. But now it's a big story because that didn't happen.
Right.
Piers says lunatics like this will always try and get guns. It should be 100,000 times harder than it is for them to do so. That's my point.
100,000 times harder to get the guns.
How do you know how we don't even know how he got the guns yet. You don't know how he got the guns.
Drugs are illegal. People get them.
Yes.
Guns are illegal to have in many instances, or very strictly regulated. People get them. It's there's going to be bad things that happen. It's not the fault of the hardware. Yes, guns make it much easier to kill people. I understand that argument. But cars, booze, cigarettes, you
a hat that's made of some type of toxic material?
Oh, well, poisonous hat.
Why don't we're going to break. Donald Trump Jr. is here. He's going to join the show next.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know.
He's a gun enthusiast.
We'll figure out what to do next, but certainly we're going to stay on this because it's a biggie. And the news is changing every single minute here. So.